just appreciate these last two comments about implementation, because this really is a key part. As a public policy professor, I'm always concerned about the question of, okay, passing the baton next. And I think it's also really important to keep in mind that the way that these recommendations are structured, they are actually addressing a number, they're not siloed. They're addressing a number of questions at once, many of them that have come up just now. So I point to number 6, the Big Trends Small Firms initiative. This is the idea that we have a cohort, in many ways, if you think about it, we have a cohort of SMEs in this country that are survivors. These are successful SMEs. They are still here. They are still productive. And one of the financing questions for them is, what do I invest in next? So it's not just a question of getting the capital. It's a question of what's the best bet to use that capital on. And so that information asymmetry, if all of that information about what is actually a good technological investment is actually sitting in the universities and the engineering departments and not sitting out there for firms, that's an information asymmetries problem. Similarly, the issue of the skills census, we do know that and appreciate how much work our trade associations do on working with their membership, but that's really, it needs to be more broadened, the scope of not just being industry specific and geographic specific, so sometimes there's not a national clarity on that for some, but also this issue of it really needs to be more accessible to a broader research audience so that and a broader policy making audience. So in a lot of ways what these recommendations are saying is, we know there are best practices out there, but we need them to actually scale up. So the argument is in part a scale up issue. And some of the amazing things that are happening in the public schools on the issue of engineering and technology training have been incredibly impressive in our research and looking into this more broadly. And then, of course, the question comes up, well, why not everywhere? How do we get it to everywhere? So part of what the hope is of this report is that it starts to motivate the implementation project that comes next.